Okay. Um, who who of you are working in hospitals or research centers? Research centers. Hospitals or research centers. Hospitals or research centers. Okay. It doesn't matter. I'll give you an idea that you may become very famous for the rest of your life. The idea is, in order to make a diagnosis without taking blood or anything taken from the body. So I'll give you the idea. And I say this, but I will send it to the internet also, so some people may put it in practice. You see, the idea comes from my dog. My dog has a passion. If anybody throws a stone anywhere, he will go and find the stone and bring it back. Anywhere. Use. Whoever throws the stone in the forest, he will go and find the stone and bring it back. You saw this dog?
She's crazy.
She's crazy, absolutely like me, of course. So the idea I thought about the, how can I say, the diagnosis of a case is like this. Is like this. An experiment which will take place in several countries. Russia, England, Israel, Romania. For 10 years, a big portion of a population in each country is attended, and they give information from the odors of the body. The odors of each patient are registered through a machine, is registered, and the odors we need is the odor of the mouth, the odor of the perspiration, the odor of the urine, and the odor of the stool. These 4 odors, being digitalized, create the profile of that person. This person is attended 5, 6, 7, up to 10 years. And each person develops several chronic conditions. We establish the difference in the odor, and in this way we have the profile through the odors of a person who is going to develop lupus erythematosus, the profile of the person who is going to develop cancer of the bladder, the profile of the person who is going to develop multiple sclerosis, And these results can be compared from nation to nation. And in this way, we will not only know that a person may have cancer of the bladder, but we can predict that if he has the combination of this type of odors, he is going to develop in 3 years, in 4 years, cancer of the bladder. This is an idea which I think today is possible to be put into practice because there are devices that can register the odor of a person. It's a fantastic idea, I think, crazy, coming from my dog. But I have been thinking of this for a very long time. I said, okay, let me say this. Maybe some people will start investigating. In this way, you are going to investigate also people who are healthy, people who are in the process, and who are people who are having already the specific disease. So a profile of the person, together with a profile of the odors of his body. You see, I am an old doctor, with the old, since 60, I treat patients since 1960, 48 years. By that time, I had heard, talking with pathologists, that there were some doctors who could recognize, who could make a diagnosis entering the room of a patient by smell. They have realized, if I enter and this is the smell, that's the problem. So, if we can make now this in a scientific way and very correct, we can have a tool for diagnosing and prognosing what is going to come, which is much more important. I talked to you in the morning about the proteinogram. It is a gross, very gross way of knowing more or less the state of the immune system. And, you have anemia. You have anemia. But what is going to happen? This anemia person is going to develop a very serious condition later on. The other person with anemia is going to be cured very soon. You see, we don't know. You see, anemia, okay. Everybody has anemia. What for? What is the good of it? The good of it is to know whether this person can be treated and can be cured. The other person maybe is going to be very, very difficult to treat and to cure. Especially this will be very useful for homeopathic prescribers or homeopathic doctors. Will be a very useful tool because you could always check the change in the process. I'll tell you a few other things that led me to this idea. Okay. One thing is, I don't know if you have experienced the odor of a constitutional sulfur, the odor of his stool, of a constitutional sulfur. I remember in a congress, a Greek congress, and one of my students have been to the toilet, which was upstairs, and he came down. And the whole hall was smelling very badly. I said to him, well, let me see. You stick your feet out? Yes. You need to eat 11 o'clock, you eat something? Yes. And you have a headache on the top? He says, yes. You better take sulfur because your stool smells so badly that by doing that, you prevent, because definitely in decomposing the flora of the intestine, decomposing in such speed and in such aggressive way the food, it means that most probably within a few years, person will develop something which will be quite serious. Not only that, but you give a remedy. And there is a reaction. And in the reaction, what do you see? Excessive perspiration. And when the perspiration becomes offensive, you say, oh my God, absolutely correct, the remedy. The toxins are coming out through the perspiration. Another example. I have many times treated people with kidney problems, and especially when they have stones in the kidneys. Okay, in many of these people, I found out when I was investigating that when they were younger, they were using borax, which would stop the fit perspiration that was very offensive, and they were very embarrassed to be on a social gathering. The toxins that they were not allowed to come through the perspiration were causing, after 10, 15 or 20 years, kidney stones. So all this and other observations of mine have brought me to the realization that we can have a diagnosis and a prognosis through, if we combine not one smell, you know, the mercury smell of the mouth, and not from the mouth, not only the perspiration, not only the urine, but also combination of all these odors. So I give it to you as an idea to promote it and see what happens. Okay, thank you.